I was having a conversation yesterday with a couple of young men. When I say young men, I'll say mid to late teens, and they were sharing how things are different now. Girls are different now. Like, things are different. And I told him this. I told him that there's nothing new under the sun, right? It's like it's a verse in the Bible. It talks about there's nothing new under the sun. And I think that was Solomon that said it. And pretty much, he said that because he was always looking at kind of the meaning of life and things like that. And what that says is that the human experience tends to repeat itself, right? Just like history tends to repeat itself. And although we're there and we're thinking that what we're experiencing is so different, is so unique, it kind of is not. Right? That others have gone through the same thing, right? For example, like whenever you're having your first kid, or you have more than one kid, and you're going through parenting, or you're going through running a business, and you're thinking that your situation is so different, so unique, what can happen is that you don't go and seek support or seek help because you think that nobody can understand. It is so different, it is so unique, and nobody is going to understand that, right? But the reality is, like, others have gone through the same thing. Like, they have. So once you can change that perspective, right? Because that's your story, right? Your story is that things are so different. The landscape is different. People don't care. Nowadays, there's more wars. Then it's hard to seek support. But when you understand that there've been wars, people have kind of behaved the same, then now it's understanding that, okay, so if there's been all this before and it's repeating itself, then maybe I can go and seek support. I can go in and recognize that God is going to bring the right people in my life at the right time. It's my job to be able to grow a relationship. Like, that's one of the frame that I love the most, right? Which is God brings the right, that God's timing is perfect. Slower or faster than I would like, there's no coincidence. That means that when things happen, when situations happen, where opportunities get presented, where this random person comes into my life, it is not a coincidence. They're there for a reason. It may be for a reason in just a season, but they're there for a reason. And it's my job to be able to go and figure out what is that reason, and then also have the wisdom to know when that season is ending. So, what's the lesson? The lesson is that there's nothing new under the sun. The human experience tends to repeat itself. There's nothing I like to, I don't know where I've heard it, but I love it. And is that seasons change with time, cycles change with you. Meaning that the season is going to repeat itself, right? And it's going to change with time, right? Just like the human experience, right? Like, nothing new under the sun. You're still going to go through the same thing, but the way you react, the way you navigate it, that's the cycle. You control the cycle. You control how you react to this, right? Tony Robbins had shared this before, and I always remind myself of it, right? When there's a moment of crisis or a situation that you can't really handle, there's a couple things that you can do always. One is what you're going to focus on, right? For example, like a glass is it halfway full, halfway empty, right? It's at the same place, but you decide what you're going to focus on, right? Is it the beginning of the relationship or the end of the relationship, right? Is it the beginning or the end? You control your focus. What are you going to focus on? Beginning, end, it's bad, it's good. Then after that, you're going to give it a meaning. Like, what does it mean? What does it mean if it's the end of the relationship? Or if it's the end of the relationship, you might not put as much effort, right? Because you might just be like, I'm just going to be done, right? If it's the beginning, you're going to be like, I'm just going to work. I'm going to figure it out. If you let's say it's not even the beginning or the end, but it's like it's a transition, right? Like another meaning, it's a transition. That's my focus. It's a transition. That's my meaning. So I'm going to make different decisions there. And then the last thing is, what are you going to do about it? Right? What are you going to focus on? What does it mean? What are you going to do about it? So listen, if you're in that season where you feel like, man, I'm in that storm, or I'm entering that storm, and the story that you have that comes up right away is that everything is different. Nobody can understand what I'm going through. Nobody knows. Nobody can relate. And therefore, nobody can support me. Not true. Others have gone through it. But you know the thing? It's hard to know that if you don't talk. It's hard to know that if you don't share. Right? And I know as men, it's a hard thing to do, because sometimes we feel, and at least for me, I felt that if I open up and if I share, then somebody might use it as something against me, right? And so I would stay guarded until things changed and I started to open up, and I realized, like, oh my God, like we all going through the same thing, right? You same thing with your kids. If you have a business, you realize, like, oh wow, like we're all going through the same thing. We're just, clients leaving, cash flow is tight, leadership, having to lead at work, but also lead at home, and you can't lead the same way. You start to understand that we're all going through the same thing, but there's no way for us to know that we're going through the same thing if we're all just staying like guarded and keep everything to ourselves, right? And this is something that is so hard, I think, for men to navigate away from, which is, if I am in a storm or entering a storm, I rarely want to share, because I say, hey, I'm going to figure it out. And when I figure it out, I'll be back. But whenever you do that, whether it's at work, whether it's at home, when you come back, things have changed, right? Because you did not lead in the storm. You led whenever you kind of got out of it. And so the goal is to be able to lead in all those different seasons. And it's easier to do that when you can get support. What I mean by support, I don't just mean somebody tell you what to do. I mean somebody that can be there and just listen and hold space for you, because they've been there. A different cycle in their life, they've been there, right? And so trust that God is going to bring those people in your life at the right time. But your job is to open your mouth and actually share, like, the truth. Not like the, hey, how you doing? Oh man, things are great. No, you share. What's up, Tiwo? Share what's actually going on, right? And understanding this, like I used to say, oh man, I'm mad, or I'm sad, or pretty much just like grabbing the identity of it, the identity of the emotion, where the reality is like you are not that emotion, you are feeling it. So it's like, oh man, I feel angry, I feel sad, because I'm not absorbing or defining myself by that identity, right? Like, for example, think of it. If you, the next time you want to say like, man, I'm angry, change it to, I feel angry, and see if there's a difference for you in terms of like your body, how your body is reacting, to it. I know for sure for me and the guys that I coach, whenever we start making that pivot where we're not absorbing that or putting that label on us, it's just like, man, I am angry, I am sad, I am frustrated, I am, like, you're putting all those identities, and switch it to, I feel the emotion, I feel the emotion, I feel the emotion. Oh man, it doesn't stay. Like, you don't stay angry, you don't stay sad, you don't stay in a state of anxiety, you don't stay depressed. Like, you just don't. It just flow through like a cloud. So you're in that season. Look around, see the men that God is bringing to your life, or sometimes the women, just the people that God is bringing to your life, and then have that wisdom to know those are the ones that you can share what's going on when you're asked. Right? That's it. That's the message that I had this morning. Julian Marin signing off. Bye.